again, we're going to get started here on how to research your business, whether it's a business opportunity, whether it's a franchise. We're actually going to be dealing with that today. There are so many different topics we're going to talk about, especially about what to look for in that particular company, their history, whom they're associated with, and then we're actually going to talk about some things that we've never ever talked about before, and it's kind of gotten from some questions that we've gotten from the past about pre-marketing your business. And again, whether it's a business opportunity like American Business Systems or your franchise, some of the pros, some of the cons about that. So we're going to discuss that as we go through the presentation today. Well, again, let me introduce myself. If you've never known who we are, this is maybe your first time on our webinar at all. My name is Eric Auger. I am the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems. Without any further ado, let me bring Patrick on. Patrick is
it's pretty cold down here in Texas. No, it's not quite that cold.
It's gotten pretty chilly there. There's no doubt about it. So
yeah,
well, it's good to have you here this afternoon, Patrick.
Thanks, Eric. Eric did a great job here of putting together some visuals for our webinar today because, guys, researching any new business, whether it's our business or any other business you might be taking a look at, it's really important that you know the right questions to ask. So every one of these we've started out with ask about, and then we're going to talk about each one of the things. So you might want to take some notes during this because this would be useful to you if you're researching our company or our opportunity, or any other business opportunity or franchise that you might find out there. So, Eric, let's get going here.
We're going to be asking a lot of questions, and you can see here one of the questions that we're going to be asking is about the company's history and the management team. But I don't want you to forget that you have the opportunity to type in any questions that you want to ask during this live webinar. So let's first talk about why they should be asking Patrick about the company, the history, and the management team of that particular company.
Yeah, of course, you want to know a little bit about what the company is all about, and you also want to know about the management team, the people that are behind the company. Very important. That's why we encourage people. Eric showed our picture of our building earlier. Guys, we encourage you. Come down here. Spend just a half a day or whatever it takes. If you have to fly in, use some of your miles. Gosh, even if you paid for a flight down here to make sure that we're for real. We encourage you to do that because you'll be able to eyeball meet the entire management team. And you'll learn a little bit about what we do as a company. The fact that we've been around for 20 years means something. You'll be able to ask people right there in our building that, we've been in that building for several years now. And over the last 20 years, we've graduated hundreds of people literally from our medical billing training program during that week of training that you'll be coming down here yourself if you get involved with us. And we're the only company that I know of out there, Eric, that is doing live training. I don't know of any other company that trains people how to do medical billing.
Yeah, there are a lot of schools. We know that. There's a lot of schools that people can go attend,
sure.
But nothing like what we have, because you can see the key word there in this is entrepreneurs. You're not students. You're entrepreneurs of your business.
Yeah, you're not learning to go get a job working in a doctor's office. You're learning to be a business owner.
Yes.
So it's a change of the way you think about who you are as a person. You're not working for somebody else any longer. You're going to be working for yourself.
And the lifetime of support. I think I remember when I first got started here, it was only a 2-year support. Now we've expanded that to a lifetime for our licensees.
And let me tell people why we do that, Eric, because we have decided, folks, that if we set up our business correctly, we will continue to make money on all the transactions that go through our system, on any of the services that you offer to doctors. So since we do make money on all those things, we set it up. I got all kinds of stuff going on here, Eric. Sorry.
It's okay.
I set up my laptop over here that I have so that when my phone rings, it also rings on the laptop. So I got to turn that off some way. Anyway, I muted it. The great part about it is, guys, we want you to know that I forget what I was saying now.
We were talking about the lifetime of support. And
yes. Yes, thank you. So the reason we set our company up so that we make a few pennies on every transaction that goes through our system is so that we continue to make money. Well, if we're making money when you make money, don't we want you to continue making money? So that's why I changed it just a few years back, Eric, to lifetime support. I thought as long as they are licensees of ours and we're making money, let's support them, whatever it takes.
Exactly. So, folks, when you're doing your research, check out the company, how long they've been in business. And I can't tell you, Patrick, how many people actually ask me, well, how long have y'all been in business? And it's very comforting to know that we can tell people we've been in business for at least 20 years. So, and going on year 21 here, just after the first of the year.
Not many companies in today's economy can even say they've been in business for 2 years. So.
Exactly.
And then the money back guarantee, Eric, we'll touch on that at the end of the webinar. But those of you who don't know it, folks, we've decided that if you don't like what you see when you come down here to our training class, anytime during the week you decide, this just isn't for me, I don't like it, just ask for your money back. We'll give you 100% money back on the license fee that you paid to us. Now, you're going to have to pay for your flight down here, of course, and whatever hotel cost. Usually it runs, I don't know, about $600, $700 with tax for the week at the hotel. But at any time you can leave and just say, it's just not for me. And that doesn't happen very often, of course, Eric, right? That's why we can do that. So we want you to know that you have that assurance that you can do that anytime you want to. If you're checking out the history of a company, it's always good to know about the owners. And as you can see, that was a few years ago. My hair was a little darker back then. And that's my wife, Linda, there with me and our two children, Adam and Sarah. Adam's now the president of our company. And Sarah also works for our company as one of our licensing consultants. So it's still a family business, even after 20 years. We're just one of those rare families that, as of yet, nobody's killed one another. So that's a good thing. Oh, and then, of course, you can also go on our website. Look, right up here. Let me see if I can get this thing going here. Is this thing working? Yeah. See this right up here, About Us. If you click on that button on our website, this is our regular website, absystems.com. You can find out about the company. There's a little message from me that gives you a little history. And then you can search about the team and meet the team. And this is only the first, 4 people showing here. But there's, I don't know, we got 15 people there on that page that you can read about our key, what we think of as our board of directors. So you can find out more about us there if you want to as well.
Absolutely. So we're going to actually be referring back to our website quite often throughout today because, again, you certainly want to be able to make sure that you are getting involved with the right particular company as you start moving forward and start doing all of your due diligence. All right, here we go. I think Patrick's got our webinar back up there. And so the next thing is you want to ask about where the company actually stands with the Better Business Bureau. And for several years now with the Better Business Bureau here in Fort Worth, we are still maintaining an A+ rating. Let's talk about how we even got that A+ rating, Patrick.
Well, first of all, it wasn't because we paid a fee to join the Better Business Bureau. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of companies do that to support their local Better Business Bureau. But guys, we haven't never had to do that because they rated us A+, and there is no higher rating. And the reason we got the A+ is because we do what we say we're going to do. Folks, you cannot stay in business in today's world. Can you, Eric? I mean, out there on the internet, there's all kinds of ways to diss a company. And so you can't do the wrong thing in today's world and maintain this kind of rating with the Better Business Bureau. They would have rated us downward had we not done what we said we were going to do. So that's the reason. That's when it says this business is not BBB accredited. It just means we didn't join and pay a fee.
There you go. Yeah, because so many people ask about that. They'll go over there and they'll go, what does that mean that it's not accredited? It's exactly what Patrick means. Is that
and they tell you that right there on the website. You can just go to the Fort Worth, type this in Google, Fort Worth Better Business Bureau. Yeah, you'll find it. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so what other questions do they need to be asking, Patrick?
Well, they need to be asking questions like, how do I stop using this and go back to my cursor? No.
All right, so here we go. Let me see if I can help you here. Go over to the little cursor thing.
I think I got it there. I just don't know how to erase all that. There we go.
There you you go. You got it there. Okay, so let's ask about the potential market for your service. I think, Patrick, I think first of all, most people that get involved in this business, they first think of chiropractors or maybe their family doctors, but you've got a slew of doctors up here all over the place as medical specialties.
Yeah, that's because if you do some research on your own, just type that in, medical specialties in Google, and you'll find a list similar to this one here probably. Folks, you can do billing for every one of these doctors listed. Why? Because all these doctors are medical providers, are using a standard form that the government came up with years ago called the 1500 form. And that 1500 form is the one that has all the information that is needed by an insurance company or by Medicare to pay a claim to a doctor. So since these medical providers all use that same form, you'll be able to bill for them. The only people you're not going to be able to bill for, of course, are hospitals. They use a completely different billing system, and they usually have their own staff and have spent a lot of money on their systems. And the dental. And Eric, we had a dentist 2 weeks ago in our training class, didn't we?
That's correct. Yeah, we had a dentist that was actually getting into medical billing, and really medical billing and dental billing are two separate things, as Patrick has said. Patrick, as we're going through this, there's a couple of questions that have come in. I want to address Rapali's.
Oh, sure.
One of his questions is also whenever you get signed up as a licensee and you're getting your first doctor to get things set up, do they get a live personal help from someone as they get their doctor signed up here?
Well, as a matter of fact, we're going to talk about this on another slide a little bit later, I think, Eric. But yes, we do what are called live demos. As you know, ours is a cloud-based system. So we set up a meeting over GoToMeeting, similar to this one that you're watching today. And we actually do the demo of our system live for your prospective doctor. And the great part about that is you can be on there also, even in a different location, watching the same demo, hearing the questions that the doctor asked. And Eric, we're closing about half of those now, aren't we?
Exactly. Yeah. And there are a couple of questions on here that have to deal with financials and money, about what you need to pay to become a licensee. And just direct those questions to the person that you're dealing with here at ABS. They'll be happy to help you with that, because we want to stick with what we're talking about today, or some of the things you need to be doing as you're getting ready, looking and investigating, do some due diligence with these with the franchises or business opportunities, especially here with as an ABS. And we'll certainly answer those questions for you with your ABS rep there. So.
Yeah, those questions about the cost of the license and that kind of thing, we try to stay away from that, folks, only because, as you found if you've been on some of these webinars, we don't try to sell you our package. We try to sell you on the idea that you should be in business for yourself and that this is a good opportunity. But we don't go into some kind of sales pitch of any kind. At the end of this, you're not going to be able to say, okay, but if you answer this or click on this or send us some money before the end of the week, you get a special deal or something like that. We've been around for 20 years. We're going to be here for another 20 years. It doesn't matter when you join us. We want you to join us whenever you're ready and comfortable to do that. All right, let's go on to the next one here that you should be asking about.
Yeah, what about the company's competitors? And this is more along what our competitors are, not you as a licensee, but about ABS's competitors.
Yeah, if you were looking into a sandwich shop of some kind, you would want to know and ask that franchisor, who are my main competitors? Who am I going to be facing out there in the marketplace? The same thing with us, folks. We do have one major company that's actually a competitor of ours that does do some training. I think it's over the phone. It's not a live training class at all. And they do have server-based software. It's not a cloud-based system. Plus, you have to set yourself up with your own clearinghouse, and ours is built into our system. There's lots of major differences between us, but we don't actually ever knock our competitors or try to say anything bad about them. In fact, we never even mention their name so that you can do your own research, but we'll kind of point you in the right direction with this next slide here. What we ask you to do is just to go out to Amazon.com and just type in the name of this book that you see here on the screen. When you do that, you'll find that this is the owner of our major competitor. We put in parentheses, in quotation marks there, our competitor, because we don't really think of this company as a competition. But the reason I use this book is because he sells it there on Amazon and has written it to show people how to, as you can see, absolutely everything you need to know to get into medical billing and practice management. But look, this is right out of his books. That's why I put each one of these bullets that you see here in a, I don't know what happened there, Eric. We went back to there we
go. There you
go. This came right out of his book. So here's why I put this up here, because as you can see, he says create a fax campaign. Well, folks, you can get into a lot of trouble. You can get fined thousands of dollars for faxing out a blast fax. That's what he talks about there. Advertising the Yellow Pages. Eric, I don't even know. I got a Yellow Pages today on the lawn out here. We use it to prop up stuff in the house here. We don't ever open up a book called Yellow Pages. And that's not how doctors find a biller. The same way here, seek out local and community print advertising opportunities. I guess he means little local papers like the coffee thing you get at the coffee shop, or small newspapers or something like that. Folks, doctors just do not go there to look for a medical biller. These are outdated marketing ideas. He learned those back in the 80s. They worked back then when my wife and I were trying to get started in this business, but they don't work today. And then, of course, he says go big with a billboard. That would be a complete waste of money. Believe me, a doctor doesn't drive down the road and look at a billboard and say, oh, I think let me write down that web address or that phone number. They just don't do that.
Now, and folks, and the thing about it is, and part of what we do here at ABS is that we're always looking what it does take to get in front of a doctor. And that's the key thing. We're not just trying to figure out theoretically how to get in front of doctors. We're actually working ourselves with licensees and knowing how they actually get in front of doctors. So we don't have it just in a book because we know things change. Patrick, everything changes. Like you said, at one time you could advertise in the Yellow Pages. You just don't do that anymore.
Our training, in fact, folks, is done by an actual licensee who's currently running a very successful medical billing business. And so we fly that person in to do the training because we want you to hear from somebody who's actually out there doing it and has not just using something that we learned back in the 80s. So we go through 10 different ways that you can market to doctors out there. All of them work. All of them are great. All of them have been honed just for this specific industry. So there's nothing new under the sun, but the way we do it is completely new and it's very proprietary information. So that's one of the reasons why you'll want to come down here and attend the live training, is to find that out for yourself live.
There you go. All right. The other thing you need to ask is about how to do any local market research. Now, this is where we're kind of getting into that area where people always ask, Patrick, what about pre-marketing? I always want to know, can I go try to get a doctor before I become a licensee or before I get in this particular business? And that's kind of like someone going out and seeing if I can go make sandwiches before I go have to open up a sandwich shop.
There's a lot of examples you could give as to why that's not a good idea, primarily because if you don't know anything about this industry, which, Eric, I would say 80% or 90% of our people that come through training don't have any clue as to what medical billing really is all about or how to do it. So if you're getting in front of a doctor, let's say you say, oh, I think I'll just go talk to my own doctor and find out what kind of what he thinks about this. Well, he may be thrilled with his billing company that he's currently using, or his staff that's doing the billing inside of his own office. So he may give you some disparaging, words about that, or ask you questions that you don't even know the answers to. So it just doesn't make sense to go out and try to pre-market anything or do any kind of research with local doctors for that reason. You could get hung and you could blow your best leads.
Right. Yeah, so what people are really asking, Patrick, is there a market out there in my area? I think that's what people really want to know, because if you think about it, if I go try to pre-market, I'm just going to kind of test the waters. I know that there are doctors out there, but are those doctors, could they ever use me? And I think that's really what most people are thinking about.
Yes, and one of the best ways to do the research, folks, and we're going to hit here just a little bit later, and that is to be sure and ask for references from current licensees. The best way to know whether this is for real and whether doctors really do need this service is just to talk to some of our current licensees. But you can go to Google and you can type in medical practices and then the name of your city, and you'll find out that there's lots and lots of doctors in your area. As far as doing research, folks, you cannot even begin to scratch the surface. Eric, I think here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's something like 30 some odd thousand medical providers. So any one licensee could never scratch that market, could they?
No, you just can't. And I think another part of that is, yes, you can go out and search the medical practices, the medical providers, even other medical billing companies and medical billing services that are in your area. But I think, Patrick, here again, let's address these biggest concerns from people, and that is this: is there a market to do medical billing? And the answer to that is yes. But it has to do with the full suite and the services that we have and the systems that we have that can actually put you above. And that's why doctors will actually listen to you, because if you walk in there and just to say you want to go do medical billing, that's not going to work. We've got all the tools, we've got all the services that you would ever need to go out there and do much more than what that doctor is actually needing. And sometimes they don't even know what they need, a lot of cases.
Well, and that's a good point, Eric. There are people who go out and talk to the doctor about their billing, and sometimes the doctor's office thinks that their billing is in good shape, right? They don't need any help, right? Everything's just running very smoothly. We're getting all the money we could possibly get in. That's not probably true, but they don't know that, and that's why we offer them a free practice analysis. So if you were going to do any local market research, you would need to have our practice analysis, which is like a 30 some odd questions at this point, that you should be asking to get the right information. Look, we don't teach people to sell anything. There's nothing to sell. If there's not a problem in the doctor's office, no solution is necessary, right? But we're going to find out if there is a problem by doing the same thing the doctor does when he talks to you. He finds out if there's any pain. He pokes you here and there to find out what's wrong with you so he can suggest a solution. We teach you to do the same thing, guys. You won't know how to do that until you come through our training class, of course.
Very good. All right, let's keep moving on here. We're almost at the bottom of the hour, but what you also need to be asking about is what's going to make my company, products, and services unique. And I think that's what we were just touching on there, Patrick, is the whole aspect of you can't just go in there and say, hey, can I do your medical billing?
Yeah, if you do that, the answer is probably, we don't need any.
Right.
Again, they probably are either happy with what their staff is doing. Now, in many cases, we do have licensees run across doctors' offices just at the right timing, and they're saying, look, yeah, we were just thinking about outsourcing our billing or looking for a different medical billing company because we're not happy with the reporting or the rejection rate or something else about their current biller. But if you don't find that they're in the market for a biller, we have 7 other services that you can offer as an ABS licensee to get your foot in the door. It's called a door opener. And once you've got your foot in the door with one of our other services, solving some of their problems that have to do with cash flow, then, of course, when the time comes that they might want to outsource their billing, they would be talking to you.
And let's also say this, you and I and our team, we know that we're working on 3 new services right now to add to our other suite of services that we already currently have. So we're expanding as well because we know that we've got to position our licensees as being unique out there in the field.
And we'd tell you guys about that on this webinar today, but then we'd have to kill all of you because they're very proprietary new services that we've got coming down the pike. So I think we even have a slide about that too. Okay, so Eric, let's talk about why our company, well, again, you should be asking the question about any company you're researching. What makes that company, products, and services unique? So Eric, tell them a little bit about ours.
Yeah, ours is a completely web-based system, and that's what's good about you not having to worry about whether or not you're going to have to keep up with the system, keep up with security, Patrick. I know a lot of people worry and have some concerns about security because a lot of people know about the Privacy Act for patients. And so, I think whenever you and Linda were doing this, you had to make sure that you had the right security systems in. You had to make sure that everything was set, and then the software that you were using, you would have to keep up with the updates with that. This is what's making ours so unique. Number 1, you don't have to load anything. Number 2, all you have to do is log in. And once you logged in, you're logged into the latest, greatest updates that are need to be there. And it kind of goes along with the question that kind of comes in and out here. I think we had one from Rich that how do you ensure the doctors and the nurses code the bill correctly to minimize bills from being kicked back? Well, Rich, our system actually keeps up with that. So even though that we tell you here on many webinars, you don't need to know anything about coding. Our system keeps up with that, Rich. So this is, to answer your question, it's iClaim and EMRX that actually ensures that the correct codes actually get into the systems so that you do bill properly.
Yeah, and Eric, this might be a good point to tell people to ask their ABS rep to give them a demo of our system, because it will dawn on you as you see that live demo that, first of all, it's kind of like what we're going to do for your prospective doctors, so you kind of get a feel for that. And then secondly, you will have the same feeling of being wowed by the technology that's behind what we do to see why we don't have rejections. Look, folks, nationwide, our rejection rate's less than 2%. That's unheard of. Doctors average 35% rejection rate out there. We can do it. We can get it less than 2%. That means more money in the doctor's pocket, more money for you because you're making a percentage of that money that's collected. And you'll see why when you see the demo of our system, why that happens.
All right, let's talk about other aspects of it. I believe we've got several other slides here we want to try to get through, and one is that it connects through to all the major labs out there. So whenever a doctor does some blood work on someone and they want to get all of that kind of comes right back into the system. And another great tool that this is one of the better tools that is out there in the EMR market is the built-in drawing tool that allows a doctor to, as they're doing their encounter and their visit with their patients, they can literally keep up with an entire library, or they can actually take photographs of particular areas of the body to kind of keep up and see if things are progressing in the right way.
Yeah, and then there's the e-prescriptions, which I think is the coolest thing that's out there. I didn't realize that there were systems that do what ours do.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, on this one, our system is, as far as I still know, is the only system that has, if you see up in that right-hand corner of where we're looking at right here, and it says RX History, that's actually a button that the doctors can press or the nurses can press, and they can do that with their finger. They would just have to tap right on there if they're using the iPad, and it's going to bring in all of the prescriptions that particular patient's on. So you can see that little check mark, the patient has given consent to request RX history. And what happens there, it goes to the pharmacies, it goes to the insurance companies, and it brings in all of that information. It's the only one that I've ever seen that actually does this.
Yeah, and so we eliminate all the paper scripts. And in fact, the prescription is at the pharmacy probably before the patient leaves the office.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the other cool thing about it, you'll see on the next screen here, we're going to be showing you that there is a mobile app version as well. This is the first time I think we've ever shown this particular portion on any webinar, because this is one of the newer functions of our system, is that there is a mobile app for that, particularly for doctors whenever they're on the go and they need to refill prescriptions for their patients. And as you can see, they can pull up the patient's name, then they can pull up all their medications, and then they can actually, right there from their phone, just boom, they're off to the races they go. They can do all the e-prescribing from right there. They don't have to be in their office anymore.
Yeah, folks, when we talk about our system being the latest technology, you'll see that when you see the demonstration of it. It literally has stuff that's way, way ahead of any other companies out there when it comes to this kind of technology. Look at this one, for example. I think this is so cool. When you actually see this happen, I wish we had a live iPad that we could put up on the camera here and show this. But basically, you can say what you see there typed in those notes was actually dictated through the iPad. As you can see on the iPad, you have a little microphone down there by the space bar, and you actually just tap that little button. The doctor starts talking, and the computer translates that into text. There is no more sending it out for transcription type of thing with our system. The doctors absolutely love this part.
Yeah, and this is not an add-on where you've got like Dragon Speak. I think maybe some people, there's some questions coming in about Dragon Speak. You don't have to have Dragon Speak. This is built inside of our system already.
Yep.
So if they're using the Apple iPads and that's what's been suggested that they use, is as long as it has a functionality to speak into their tablets. And boy, instead of those doctors having to hand write those notes and then Patrick, get this. This is truly what's happening. And this is where, if folks that are listening, you catch this real quickly. If you run across a doctor that has an EMR system in their office and they're still writing out their notes, guess what they're doing? They're seeing their patients, writing out their notes, and at the end of the day, they go back into their EMR system and type in all that information. And they have to go back through every single patient. So just because a doctor has an EMR system doesn't mean it's working proefficiently for them.
No, this can save a doctor. This can save a doctor hours and hours of time that he can now spend, golfing or at home with his family or vacationing or whatever. Yeah. Okay, and this one is pretty cool. I think this is the future. Seeing doctors virtually. Yes, you can actually set up appointments with your doctor through our system, through the patient portal, to have an e-visit, they call it. So you can get on a video conference, just like Eric and I are now on the video here talking to you, and actually speak with your doctor, typing in notes here, and just having a conversation with the doctor. And then the doctor can prescribe something for you through his e-prescription, and boom, you just go to the pharmacy and pick it up. Of course, it's a cash flow for the doctor, of course, because he's going to charge you for that time that he's with you there on the e-visit. But that's all built into our system as well. Doesn't get any more high-tech than this, Eric.
No, absolutely not. And a little bit more on the system, on the system itself, because Eileen's got a question about codes. And the codes, Eileen, are the same codes that are here in Texas used for the medicine, for medical codes, are the same codes that you would use in Connecticut. So that is true. So, and those codes are what's called the ICD-9 codes, and there are procedure codes, and those are universal within our healthcare system. So it really doesn't matter.
Right. Anywhere in the 50 states, those are the same codes. That's right. Okay, let's talk about this one. One thing you should ask a company about is who is on their advisory board. Now, all companies out there have some sort of either official or unofficial advisory board. That's just the people that help them build their company. You can go to our website, as I showed you earlier, and actually find that we have a doctor, Dr. Sally Combest. She's the clinical associate professor at the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio, Texas. She's also a practicing physician and is currently providing anesthesiology care to patients at that center. So as a member of our board, she teaches for us and consults with new ABS licensees on a variety of topics relating to medical billing and practice management. In fact, Eric, we had to put this off till the 18th, but Sally's doing a new update webinar on the new ICD-10 codes that are coming out in 2015.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about what we've built here, and again, in the last 20 years. Where it used to be, and I'm going to use you and Linda, Patrick, it used to be just a mom and pop type thing of people getting into medical billing. But folks, this has really got into what we consider to be very business minded type folks, and people are getting into this business and loving it. And we have been attracting people all the way from doctors to marketing consultants to, as you can see there, people who are certified professional coders. So all of these people are licensees. They're all on our advisory board, and they do help guide us because it's these people that we deal with day in and day out that's helping us keep us up to date on what's going on new.
Yeah, Terrence Patterson has a master's degree of education in management from Cambridge College, and he also has a master's degree in healthcare administration. So, folks, you couldn't have, and then, of course, Jeanette Weiler here is a certified professional coder, as Eric just mentioned. You can't find better people behind a company that's in this field than what we have on our advisory board. We just had another doctor who actually was a retired MD, came through training 2 weeks ago, and is going to be on our advisory board as well. So we continue to add people who have the knowledge that it takes to keep us on top of what's going on in the industry. Then, as we mentioned earlier, one of the things you should always ask about, of course, is the success of the current owners. Now, folks, we have so many licensees that have success stories. You can see a lot of these out there on our blog. If you go to our website, absystems.com/blog, you'll be able to scroll down through that. There's pages and pages and pages of webinars that we've done. Many of those are live interviews that we've done with some of our current licensees. But Eric, they can also asked to speak to some of these people, can't they?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got not only these people here, but there's several. It's a long list of licensees. And what's great about all of this is this key word that I know we all like to use here in our arena is reciprocity. And these people that you're seeing on the screen were on the list that Patrick and I see over here on our webinars. Those names used to be over there. Now they're over here, and so they know where you are sitting. They understand your fears. They understand the mental gymnastics, basically, that you're kind of going through of wondering, should I do this? Should I not do this? Get involved and talk with these folks. So you talk with us here at ABS. You see us on our webinars. Give these folks a chance to be able to just chat with you as well.
Look, I turned off the slides just for a moment because I want to actually talk with people very seriously about this. Folks, Eric and I have been doing this for many, many years now, and we can tell you anything. We can answer any questions about our business and make it sound really, really good. Right, Eric?
Right.
But folks, the real questions you should be asking are to people who've been through the same process that you're going through right now, doing their due diligence. They've done the due diligence on us as a company, checked us out. They've invested with us. They've come down and spent the week here in training, and now they're experiencing our lifetime support. They're the people you should be asking the questions to. So ask your ABS rep for a list of reps.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm just gagging here, but I
got a little choked up there. but Patrick's right. Yeah, please feel free to get in contact with us. Let's talk about ongoing costs. I think this is one of the best parts about our business is about really there are no franchise fees. There's no royalty fees in our particular business. So there's your answer to is there an additional cost?
Right. Once you've invested in our one-time, lifetime licensing fee, that's it, folks. You will never pay any money directly to ABS Systems ever again because we don't have any additional fees or hidden costs behind the scene. That's important that you ask a company or a franchise, what are my ongoing costs to you? Either in the form of royalties, or maybe they have to participate in an advertising budget, or maybe there are supplies that you must buy from them. Folks, with ABS, you're your own business owner. You can do anything. You can create your own, marketing pieces. You don't have to reorder anything from us ever again. And since we do make money on all the services that you're offering through our technology partners to the medical providers in your community, we don't have to charge you anything extra. So that's a very important question that you need to cover when you're talking to any company that's offering you a business opportunity or franchise.
Now, another thing you should be asking is about the marketing strategies for obtaining your clients. And this is key. And this kind of goes all of the pre-marketing talks that we've talked about already. And so one of the reasons why we caution you not to go pre-market to anybody is because you don't have the marketing materials. And that's why we want to be able to help you be able to get that taken care of very quickly.
Yeah, I was going to correct the misspelled word up there, but anyway, we're through with that slide.
It shows that we're human. At least it doesn't have a bad word up there.
You can see that we put these together right up to the deadline of this webinar each week. By the way, guys, we've spent literally thousands of dollars, many more thousands of dollars developing these professional marketing tools that you see here than you would ever give us in the licensing fee. So yes, you could recreate all this on your own, but why would you do that when we've spent a lot of money having professionally designed and tested marketing materials developed for you? So the marketing strategies are strategies that we've come up with. You'll see when you come to training.
And we
Sorry, Eric.
proofread all of these other ones here too. Be
Yeah,
sure.
that's my fault. I'll be more careful next time. Okay. Any other questions we should be addressing here before we move on here?
Oh, you know what? There are, but I know that we've got several more slides that we need to get to. So let's make sure. What about territories, Patrick? Let's talk about territories because again,
Oh,
whether you're
yeah.
a
This is
franchise, business opportunity, people want to know about what about their territory.
Well, it's very restricted. It's just what you see here on the screen. It's the entire United States. And the
Coast to
reason we
coast.
say that, because folks, if you buy some franchises, of course, you are restricted to a certain geographical area. Well, you would not want to be restricted with this business because what happens is, let's say you sign up a doctor in your area, and that doctor happens to know another doctor in another state. Well, if you were restricted to just your state or your city or whatever, you couldn't do the billing for that other doctor. With us, that's possible to do the billing for any doctor anywhere in the United States, all 50 states. And we've got licensees who've proven that. I mean, we've got a licensee in Florida that does probably 20 different states. He has doctors as clients in. So it's a great way to build your business. It's a terrific reason why the referrals really will help you build your business. Folks, we've had licensees tell us that all they did was do what we teach them in the training class to go out and get their first client. And after that, they didn't have to do much. The referrals is how their business were built. So you wouldn't want to be restricted.
I'm reading through some of these other questions, trying to get prepared. Maybe we can answer some more of these as we get towards the end there. But
Yeah.
truly, folks, coast to coast, we don't want to limit you at all. But I think really the question there, Patrick, kind of becomes into what if I have other licensees in my particular area? And again, don't have to worry about that is because they may be billing for a doctor not even in your own state. So
Yeah, that's right. All right, everybody should be asking some question at some point to every company or franchise about what your potential income is. Obviously, that's why you're one of the reasons why you want to start your own business is to take the ceiling off of your income that you might have with your current job or business that you're in. With ours, there is no ceiling, and you literally can make as much money as you want to make. Now, we prove that to you by having you go to our website. You'll see that right here. There's a little tab there called Income Potential. When you go there, you'll be filling out these little blanks that you see right here. Now, the reason we've got some numbers already in there is because they're already there when you go to it, but you can change them to anything you want to. Let's say number of doctors you'd like to have as clients is 6 or 10. Just plug that number in and replace the 1. Same way here, average number of patients that a doctor sees per day. Well, there's doctors who see 30 and 40 patients a day. Then there's others who don't see but maybe a half a dozen. So you can change that number any way you want to as well. 5 days a week we've got that the doctor's open. Sometimes doctors close on Friday, so you can change that to 4 if you want to. Anyway, plug in what you want to. Now, Eric, let's talk about that percentage. Why is that important?
yeah, that percentage can be anywhere from 5, 6, 7, or 8. And this is what's going to be what you as a licensee or the medical billing company will charge the doctor on what has been reimbursed. Now there is always this kind of this. I'm trying to get the understanding on what is actually charged and what's actually reimbursed back from the doctor. And so we have $100 there because that's about average for what you see most doctors get as a reimbursement. And so when you use these particular numbers, one doctor seeing 20 patients a day, open 5 days a week, charging basically an average 6% of $100. You click submit. This is what you're going to look for as for one doctor. So when we say that with four or five doctors, you will certainly be at a 6-figure income there. And again, we don't want to blow up the numbers either. What we're projecting right here is one office with one doctor seeing 100 patients a week. That's so low. Then if you get into some specialties, let's just take a podiatrist for instance. one podiatrist could certainly do a lot better than that because their average reimbursement amount is about 250. So you plug that number in there with just one doctor, and you're going to see that actually go up quite a bit. So that one doctor may generate 45 to $50,000 a year just with one doctor.
Yeah, so plug in your own numbers, let you come up with the number that you think that you want to make, and that's why we put that calculator there. All right, Eric, let's talk about another real important question, and that is, once you've got my licensing fee or my franchise fee, what kind of ongoing support and training am I going to get?
Well, again, like we've already mentioned, you get a lifetime of support, but this kind of goes to a question that actually a lengthy question here from Rapali. You were asking about the live demos or how to get a doctor to a demo. Now, let me just I'll get to that in just a moment, but I want to address the support that you get here with ABS is not just, oh, I'm having trouble here, or I'm having trouble there, or I need this, that, and the other. Folks, the support that you get from us is us working with you on getting your doctor. So when we show you this, that we actually do a live demo, what we're talking about here, just like we're doing here on the GoTo webinar, you'll have one person from our team here that's acting on your behalf. So it's like we are your support people, back office people, doing these demos for you. And what we'll do, we'll answer all the questions from the doctor. We show them the system. We show them how you as the licensee, actually the medical billing company is actually going to collect more money for them. And again, you really don't have to have a background here because you're going to use our 20 years of experience in helping you gain that doctor. So that's one thing, Patrick, I know that our other competitor just cannot do. And this is very important for you because, again, we know your biggest fear leaving training or signing that dotted line to become a licensee is, how am I going to get my clients? Folks, until you see this actually happen, it's hard for you to understand. But this is what we'll do for you for a lifetime.
Yeah, I like Rapali. He is being very straightforward and up front here with us about the questions that he's asking about it. He says, how do we get our first doctor signed up? Do we get someone helping us to come to our area and signing our first doctor? Well, Rapali, let me just answer that because I've been asked that before. Why don't you help me? Why don't you sign up the doctor for me? Well, Rapali, if we could do that, if we could go out and do that, we would just hire sales reps to go out and sign up all the doctors for us. We're not in that business. We put you into the business and teach you how to do it. It's kind of like, should you give somebody a fish or should you teach them how to fish? That's what we do, is we teach you how to do what we have learned how to do. Now, we have licensees signing up doctors on a regular basis. Weekly, we get reports from our clearinghouse that new doctors have been signed up. How is that possible? He goes on to say here, Rapali says, most doctors will say, no, we already have that ongoing and we don't need any help. So in order for us to make them understand and convince them to watch the demo, how do we convince them when we don't know anything about medical billing? Well, Rapali, again, you can learn a lot from these webinars, but not what we can teach you in 40 hours of training down here during that week. So you'll just have to take my word for it that licensees are signing up doctors, so then we must be teaching them something that actually works out there in the real world.
Yeah, and that's another reason why we want you to be careful not to go out and try to pre-market, because, again, what you're taught during that week is to truly position you for success. And then on the other side of everything, just our regular licensee support side. Now, this is actually one of we just launched this one. We've had a licensee support site for quite some time. But we've updated it. We've got it on a new platform, much easier for people to get through. But as you can see here, it's got information about all the services, marketing, training, the tools, everything that you need to know. And plus, there's always updates of when we're doing a live webinar. I know that we're doing a live webinar for our licensees this Friday.
Yep.
And so, if you become a licensee before Friday, even before you get to training, you can certainly be a part of that as well.
Yeah, and every time you log into this website here for our licensees with your own ID and password, it will take you straight to the news page where we post everything that's posted new anywhere else on the site. Plus, we announce, of course, the webinars that are coming up for you. Again, at no cost, folks. You'll never pay for those webinars. And we've done dozens of them this year, and we'll continue to do those every year. That's why we have hundreds of hours of training already posted out there on this site, webinars that are recorded and that you can watch at your leisure out there.
Yep. So not only do we have a repository for the webinar, our Wednesday webinars, but we've got a completely separate repository for all the webinars we've done as an ongoing training. All right, so we need to ask about companies' plans for the future products and services.
Yes, and Eric, as the Director of Research and Development, you could tell them about some of the things that are coming up, but you wouldn't, right? Or would you? I kind of left that hanging, didn't I?
And I know the guys that are listening back at the office are just going, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, well,
for their sake, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, there's a reason why we don't go into detail, folks, about new things that are on the table because, again, we're beta testing those. We don't know that we're going to roll them out unless we've beta tested them and make sure they actually make money for our licensees. We're just not going to do that. But we do have, as Eric mentioned earlier, we got about 3 things right now that we're working on behind the scenes that will make, well, Eric, each one of them could be sold as a separate business opportunity. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, they could be. One in particular could just be its own project by itself. So, and could certainly, it's just going to be a great addition to what we're already currently doing. So, folks, again, we are currently doing that. We're always in development. We're always looking. And so, yeah, folks, you just need to, now if you come to training, you might hear about one that we're particularly put together because we certainly will launch that one very shortly here right after the first of the year.
Absolutely. And then you'll always want to ask a company, of course, for a copy of the agreement that you'll sign. You can easily get that from us just by asking your ABS rep. We'll email that to you or give you a link to it. And you can download that and read it word for word and see exactly what you'll be signing if you do move forward with us.
Yeah, and on that one, it's actually showing the refund policy right there at the very bottom, which in that is exactly what we're going to show you here at the end of the webinar. That right now. So.
All right, good. All right, and then, of course, ask for a list of current references. We mentioned these folks earlier. One more time, folks, don't hesitate to ask for that. And look, these are real people. These are not somebody that's just paid to take a phone call. You can ask them where they're at. Some of them even have opened their own commercial offices that with the right arrangements, you could arrange to go visit some of these people in their offices. We've had people do that. And they don't mind sharing what their success is with people who are looking at getting into the business. So it's a tremendous way to verify that everything Eric and I are saying is true. Back to our 100% money back guarantee. This is exactly what it says there in that agreement. If at any time during the live training workshop you feel this business is not right for you, just ask one of my staff for a full refund and it'll be granted, no questions asked. Now, folks, we've reworded that several times to make sure there's no weasel words in there. That is as straightforward as you can get in a guarantee.
Exactly, and that is 100% correct. And folks, again, we want you to be very satisfied with this particular business. So, well, Patrick.